Dry Waffle.
And we're back.
Yeah, we're back.
We're back. We're buzzing.
We are.
It's Sunday.
Are you buzzing?
Yeah.
I've dragged you out of bed for this, haven't I?
Yes.
Dragged him out of bed.
We didn't do... This is the one that we should have done last week, but we didn't do it because...
We had a wobble, didn't we?
Yeah. I feel like... I really like doing the show.
We love it.
I love doing the show, but
I feel
like
weekly dose of therapy.
my ADHD I find it very hard to keep my motivation to do things, even though I know it's something that I want to do. So I had a bit of a wobble, but I'm back in the game.
Yeah, I had a wobble because I felt extremely overwhelmed by all the things we were tackling in our lives.
Yeah.
Which we're both very driven, motivated people, aren't we? But then at the same time, you've got
I've got all the ideas.
Yeah.
I've got all the ideas, but too many ideas.
Too many ideas.
Don't know which way to go, so we just end up going nowhere.
Yeah. But we do love doing this, don't we?
Yeah.
And we've
It's something we bought the gear.
Yeah.
We
bought the gear. We've got no idea.
Typical ADHD stuff for me though. Spend hundreds of pounds on something, decide this is going to be it now, I'm going to smash this, get 3 episodes in and go, this is...
So then you've got Betty going,
This is not as...
we're doing this.
Yeah, this is not as exciting as I thought it'd be, editing these videos and doing all these things. It's actually quite draining on my mental. But if it wasn't for you, I would probably have not picked it back up. So it's good that you're the yin to my yang.
Yeah.
So you dragged me back from the depths of hell.
You're welcome. Anytime.
In every sense.
Anytime, babe.
So, how have we been this week? I know how you've been, but do you want to say how you've been?
How you've been. Yeah, good. In fairness, I'm feeling good.
Mm-hmm.
I've had a couple of very good positive weeks.
Yeah.
And that's nice. We had a wonderful walk yesterday, didn't we? We went to
Macclesfield
Forest, which was beautiful, and it was a lovely sunny day.
Nice walk.
Incredible walk. There was a part of it where the trees were just green, and that sounds... No, but the actual trunks.
You're blowing my mind, man.
The trunks of the trees were green because of the moss on the trees, and it just looked magical, didn't it?
Yeah.
It was insane.
You'll probably put a post up on
I will
the Dry
put a
Waffle
post. Yeah.
Instagram, won't you?
Yeah, because it's just... I felt like I was in a magical wonderland.
No, it's very nice up there. They've got these big, massive tall trees. It's like Harry Potter, isn't it? It's like, or Twilight.
Ooh.
Jigs, touch wood. So yeah, that was good.
And then we had a game night last night where we played the Traitors.
Yeah, Traitors board game. It's good. We had a bit of a... Do you know what? Because we've played it before, haven't we? We had another games night with our mates, and this one last night was only us 4 instead of 10 of us, and we played Traitors, and there was a moment where there between me, you, and our friend Jack, and
Name and shame.
Name and shame.
You know who you are, Jack.
shout out, Jack. And we sort of had a face off at the round table, didn't we?
Yeah.
I was convinced with every cell in my body that Jack was the traitor, because I was like, you would have not voted for
Our other friend.
Anna.
Yeah, literally, Bobby was, as he says, convinced that me, the traitor, wouldn't have voted for our friend Anna, but I did.
Yeah.
I murdered her.
I know.
In cold blood.
I know. And Jack I felt like Jack wasn't giving it enough fight. He wasn't.
He backed down too easy.
He was like, well,
I know.
I don't need to fight because I'm a faithful. And I was like, too laid back.
Yeah.
But then we missed one key bit of evidence that he didn't say to the end. So basically, you'd already tried to murder Jack, and he had a
shield.
He had a shield.
Yeah.
So
but we were
he
so
couldn't be
excited.
murdered, so he stayed in the game. And then at the end of the game, I didn't realise that, and he didn't say.
Yeah.
So I was there going at him. I put up the most convincing fight ever. It was like, I was like, I am 100% faithful, so I know that you must be the traitor because she would not vote for her. And I was like convinced. And I was like, and then it was wrong, and I was like, oh.
So I got all the money, and I was the victorious traitor. I actually surprised myself with how good I was in that role.
Yeah, and I do love our games nights now. I feel like that's one of my favourite ways to socialise.
Yeah. Another good segue. You're very good at that. Why was that a good segue?
Because today's episode is about socialising without alcohol, or sober socialising.
Yeah, socialising and sobriety.
So let's go.
Let's dig in. So the reason why we wanted to talk about this was because we've done not that we haven't been socialising, but it feels like we're starting to warm up as a result of spring hitting, and we've got more activities going on, haven't we? And a couple of things that we've done recently have kind of forced me anyway to like reflect on how to socialise, which seemed like a really obvious things. It's like, well, you just socialise, surely. But actually, when you're socialising sober, it's a very different experience that you have to get used to, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think as well what has become like apparent to me is as well socialising means different things for different people.
Yeah.
So one person's idea of socialising is another person's idea of hell.
Yeah,
and you can't. I think sometimes we think that socialising is just being out, being like having a laugh with everyone and dancing away into the night. But some people are introverted, and like me, for example, and the idea of just going out to purely socialise is actually I don't find that enticing or enjoyable. I find it really uncomfortable, especially sober.
Yeah, and especially with people that you don't know.
Yeah, but around people I don't know, like that's not something that I thrive off. I'm not an extrovert. I don't feed off that energy. I feed off small groups who I know and trust, and I feel comfortable around, and then I can be a bit extroverted within that group. But yeah, I don't get that from just going out into town and stuff like that, and that's something I have to accept, and I'm learning to stop chasing that, thinking I need to do that to quote unquote socialise.
Yeah, but it's like the complete opposite to what you were like when you drank.
Yeah, exactly. When I drank, I wasn't bothered about going talking to anybody.
Well, it literally turned you from an introvert like that into an extrovert.
Really annoying one. I imagine anyway. I mean, I thought I was the joy of the world, but
you would literally go out because you used to work nights, didn't you? So your weekend was like Sunday, Monday, Tuesdays.
Yeah.
And you would go out on a Sunday on your own.
Yep.
In Manchester.
Yep.
And just socialise, socialise with people.
Yeah. I'd end up just going back to parties or being in groups in a pub with loads of new friends. And that, like, you know what? I'm not going to completely shit on it. I had some good nights. It was fun to be. It's fun. It was fun to be a different character, I suppose. It was fun and nice to not have those walls up that I usually have, where it's like, I feel quite awkward in situations and stuff. So it was fun to just completely not have that. The walls came down and I was just like this. But it's not me. It's not me. Don't get me wrong. I do think there's room for me to work on things, but I'm never going to be that person.
Yeah.
And I don't particularly want to be so. In that sense, that's where the draw is, isn't it? Probably for a lot of people with alcohol, because it does make you if you're introverted like me and you find social situations hard, almost painful, then having that release is addictive. It's like like they say, a superpower. It's like it's your chance to just not have any worries, no cares, just go with the flow and just be the main character, the annoying, pissed up main character who So it was like it's one of them. You'd find yourself joining onto a group, and you know that there's some people in that group that are like, "Who is this dickhead? Get out
this
of
guy?"
here!"
Yeah.
But then you'd always have some that would think you sound, and then you'd be mates with them. And
Yeah.
But some people probably thought, "Wow, do one, mate."
Yeah, it's just like inhibitions just fall out the window, don't they?
Yeah.
You've just got no. Well, yeah. Which again is like a superpower, but at the same time, like you say, it's like, who is this person?
Well,
like,
yeah.
I was to say, it's like who is that person? When I get to like that extreme of drunk.
Yeah, because it's not something you can keep up, is it? Like
No.
I've seen people during the week before. I think I said this before, where I've been out at the weekend. This crazy, sociable person. Then I see him during the week. I'm like, "Hey, mate, you all right?" Yeah. See you later. Like, they must think, what
I
did
can't
do?
look you in
What
the
did I
eye
do
now,
to him?
sorry. Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
So yeah, I do find it a struggle to socialise without the alcohol.
Whereas for me, like, so I feel like I'm definitely more extroverted. But then I go, I am more extroverted than you.
Than me? Oh yeah. I mean,
yeah.
who isn't?
Yeah.
No,
No.
I'm joking.
But yeah, I am more extroverted than you. But then if I reflect, like, I feel again that alcohol made me an extrovert. So if I look and think back through like my jobs that I've done in my time, so I've been like a community manager and events coordinator and all of these things, and actually a lot of it was surrounded by alcohol because I used to help people come together and meet other people. And where would we meet? We'd meet in a pub.
Sorry, my mic's just fucking doing well. We've got these mic stands and it's just like retracting and pulling the mic away from me, so just let me
Sorry,
get back
just
now.
slightly distracted.
Sorry, can we get back to your story?
Yeah.
Sorry about that.
So a lot of like my past socializing like with work was with alcohol, and like a lot of like, my socializing habits would include alcohol. So therefore, like, I would argue that I wasn't an extrovert, but now I feel like I'm probably more of a extrovert. You annoy me.
Sorry, I'm just saying, I can't. It's just playing on my mind now. I keep thinking it's going to retract. It's not doing.
It's not. It's fine.
Right, it's fine.
Back in the room. That I'm more of a introverted extrovert.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm finding how to socialise, because I think at the start I was still doing a lot of the things that I would do when I was having a drink, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work for me anymore. So what I'm really challenged is like, actually, what are you genuinely like interested in? Like, what do I actually enjoy? So as an example, we went to the Celine Dion by candlelight
that was
gig.
Good. That was
good. It was.
Shouts to the Celine Dion by candlelight.
So it was at the monastery in Manchester, wasn't it? And I actually thought it was going to be like an orchestra type event, but it wasn't. It was a tribute act, and there was a wonderful woman called January. Yeah, January, not June. That was this tribute act, and
she was really good, wasn't she?
She was really good. Like,
she did the voice. She did all the voices.
She did the voice. It was like
hello,
immersive.
guys.
What's that voice?
No, what's the voice?
Like
it's
Canadian.
like, good afternoon, guys. Was that what it was like?
No.
It's lovely to see you
What
here,
was the
guys.
thing that she kept shouting that our mate was like, oh my God, let's do it, or something like that. I don't know. Anyway, these accents were awful.
But she was a very good singer.
She was very good, but it took us a bit to warm up in that environment, didn't it? Because it turned quite like raucous. Like, people ended up dancing on chairs. They were like running to the front. The security guards at the monastery, the church, had no idea what was going on.
Yeah, so it's
basically
wild. It's a venue called the Monastery in Manchester, and it's like an old church, or I imagine a monastery.
It still is a church, I think.
But they've like sort of half modernised it, and then half kept it.
It's a beautiful building.
Yeah, it's really smart. But apparently they do like raves there, and they do all sorts of events. But it's cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
But yeah, she absolutely smashed it, and she sung all the songs really well.
Yeah.
I thought I really had a good night.
Yeah,
actually.
but that was
Bit of
like
Celine.
something that we were like. I think it took me a bit of time to warm up, but then by the end, like I was singing my heart out.
Yeah.
Didn't care who knew it, and it was nice to like because I love live music, so it was just nice to be in that environment and have that experience sober. And that was one of the things that kind of forced me to reflect on what things I do like sober. So I do like live music, so I'm gonna carry on doing that. Do my banging again. And I think part of this is really challenging ourselves, isn't it? To put ourselves in situations where we're A, the things that we do enjoy, but B, they might make us slightly uncomfortable.
Yeah, I mean, it's a weird one for me because I do have a lot of what do you call it, social anxiety. I wouldn't know how to label it, to be honest. So when I'm out surrounded by people who I don't know, and like there's lots of people or like something like that at a gig, I'm sort of confident enough to sort of like just get on with it and like sing and like have a laugh or whatever. But for some reason, there's always just this niggling like thing in the back of my head thinking like, do I look stupid, or people like looking at me thinking, oh, what's this guy doing, like.
Yeah.
And even though I know a rational side of me is like nobody cares, it's still there. It always has been.
Yeah.
And it used to be a lot worse, like, you know. Obviously I've probably got better with dealing with stuff as I've got older, but that's just one thing that just alcohol used to help with. You know, I just used to be able to get pissed and I'd just have a laugh without any sort of thoughts like that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I guess the problem is I've spent that long using alcohol without ever dealing with it. I just have to learn to go out and put myself through it and deal with it. But I think that's a big thing for people who drink, you know, to get rid of that, because it's not a nice feeling to just feel like you can't really let yourself go and you can't really enjoy yourself fully because there's this niggling voice in the back of your head going like, oh, are people looking at you thinking you look stupid? And it's something, like I say, something I've always had, which is probably why I was so drawn to doing that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and the reality is that likely no one is doing that, but it's like you're in a demons, is it? Like, because I have the same, like, you know, and that's what I mean when it's like you have to like warm up into these type of experiences and then remember that if you're having a good time, then that's what matters. And there will be some uncomfortable feelings as you're kind of getting stronger, as you do more things and activities, but and if you don't enjoy something that you're doing, just don't do it.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe like I was saying before, I've got it in my head that I have to be this certain way.
Yeah.
When really I just want to But then again, when we're in the car, I blast it out and I enjoy it.
Yeah.
And like thinking, so because I don't feel that when I'm just like on my own with you or whatever.
Yeah.
So it is a thing. It's definitely a thing about being in like crowds and being in public
in society,
and being judged by other people and stuff.
Yeah.
Like definitely, I have always had this feeling of like wondering what other people are thinking, caring what other people are thinking, and that's a hard thing to change, that mindset. But I do feel like I'm getting there slowly, and I think definitely the only way I'm going to be able to do it is by keep staying sober and by keep working on things, and you know, undoing a lot of the trauma from being younger, because that's where it's all come from. It's all come from things that have happened in my life that have left me feeling unconfident and judged and ridiculed and whatever. And
well, you were bullied, weren't you? Like as a child.
Yeah, I did get bullied quite a lot, and I think that definitely had a knock-on effect to my confidence, and always feeling like, you know, I was going to be the brunt of the joke, and, you know, I always had to be on guard. And I think I sort of carried that on through my life without actually ever dealing with it. And it's funny because now I'm at a stage in my life where I just don't feel like that, but yeah, I'm still left with these stupid thoughts that something like that's going to happen. So it's definitely something that I'm aware of and I'm trying to work on. And I suppose the only way to sort of get through it is by putting myself in those situations and not doing it drunk, because getting drunk just switch that off temporarily. But, as soon as you're sober, it's back again, isn't it? With all the stress and anxiety that comes with what you'd done when you were drunk.
Yeah.
That isn't you, that you then have to deal with.
Yeah.
That's definitely where I feel like the work is for me, in terms of like getting better at socialising. I do a lot of waffling when I try and socialise. I went to a networking event with work for work the other day in Manchester, and I don't know what.
Did you have a good waffle?
Yeah, I don't know what
You're
it
waffling
is.
without me?
It's like I try and fill. Like, instead of just going like, oh, hello, yeah, I do this, I'm from here. Like, if I feel like there's a bit of a silence in the conversation, I'll just start filling it with anything. Like, it's like, yeah, I'm not even really any good at these kinds of things. I don't actually even like being here. You know what I mean? But I don't even know why I'm talking to you, mate.
Yeah.
And I just say, I don't say that obviously, but I just waffle on.
Yeah. Which is. You're like, you fill in those uncomfortable silences almost, aren't you?
Yeah, but it's not my job, is it?
Yeah.
Why do I have to be the one? I'm not even good at it, so...
I think you're great at waffling.
Do you know what? You take me... As soon as I get to know somebody and I've got a little bit of comfort around them, I'm a different person.
Yeah,
But it's just
100%.
that initial being able to just approach people and be comfortable around people who I just don't know, and probably because I don't.
It's like a confidence thing, is it? You like almost have to build your confidence back up in who you are. I think as an individual,
it's having faith, yeah, that they're gonna like you.
Yeah, that's it. That's a big thing. Like. I mean, my things are like, am I actually funny? Like, am I interesting? What literally, what am I without this thing, this substance that makes it so that I'm chatty and more confident and out there?
Yeah.
When actually, I am. Well, I know for a fact I just chat a load of crap, but it's like you're almost building yourself back up again. Like, what are my values? What am I interested in? What can I talk about? What can I actually contribute to either our life or like life with friends and family and stuff like that? And that's such a weird thing to relearn almost as an adult as well, because you almost feel like you find those things and attributes as a kid, and then you kind of build your personality and what you are, but it's like you go through another phase of like evolution of yourself. Like that's like, for me, like I feel like I'm finally really starting to find my feet with it. So I think that's why, like, for me, as I say, like, looking at what my interests are, so I love like live music, so I'm going to find more opportunities to do that. I love going to the cinema, so I want to start going to the cinema more. I love like food, so I've started doing more like one-to-ones with my friends, because I value one-to-one time with my friends, so I can actually talk to them about their lives on an individual level, versus like group things now, because everything's surface level. Like, even if it's a sober thing of like a group, you don't actually get to talk to people properly.
Yeah.
And like, one of the things that I love most is like sitting down with a friend, or sitting down with my mum, or sitting down with you. Like, this is why I love doing this, and just actually having a conversation where you give and get real value from it.
Yeah.
And that's really great. That's a really great part of like going through this journey for me, is like I actually am starting to feel now like, oh, this is how you want to be. This is who you are. This is what you can give.
Yeah, some of my best conversations now are literally about like self-improvement.
Yeah.
Sober conversations. Just conversations that can go on for like 2 hours, just a deep level conversations, like you say. And I've not really got much time for just going out to I have no interest in going to the pub now, or to a bar and just trying to talk to someone over loud music and just like, it's, unless I'm going to somewhere, like if I'm going out in Manchester, unless I'm going for like a meal, or we're going to watch a gig or a show, or it's
or
catchy,
darts, or bowling,
or an activity. I'm no interest in going to a bar unless it's going to a bar for like 2 hours to catch up with friends where there's not, you can actually sit and talk. Then I'm no interest in it. I have no interest in going out for 7 hours now and just like standing in bars.
Yeah.
Fucking none.
Yeah.
And I used to love it. Well, did I love it? I don't know. I used to do it, and I used to get drunk, and I used to do it again and again and again, so I must have enjoyed doing it drunk.
Yeah.
But it's my worst nightmare now. And I think if you're someone who can do that sober, then you're probably an extrovert.
Yeah. And you're happy to be in that space and environment for that. It's for that amount of time as well, isn't it? Because it's like, I'm fine for an hour or two now, but like you say, like after that, you just kind of like, I'm done now. I've had my time. And that's all right, though. Like, I think you've got to be confident or, like, build that confidence almost in yourself to be like, I'll go for an hour or two, but then I'm done, like, and walk away. And that's fine. Like, you're not boring, so don't let anyone think you're boring. And you're just protecting your space.
That's all subjective anyway. What's boring?
Well, exactly, yeah. And but a lot of people, that's a thing that people think, isn't it, as they start to go on this journey, like, oh, am I boring? Or you might think that society thinks you're boring. You're not. You're just choosing yourself.
Definitely. I think a scary thing for people when they think about stopping drinking, even though they probably know that they should because of all the things that might possibly go wrong when they drink. The scary thing is losing your identity, losing your social life, becoming boring, becoming this, becoming that. And sometimes, like, you look on some influencers or whatever that are sober and they're all on about like, oh, I don't need drinks to have a good time, and they're out and they're dancing and they're making a show of themselves and the centre of attention, and you might think, oh, I'm just not doing it right. Like, I don't feel like that. It's like, look, not many people do.
Yeah, that's like an extrovert.
Yeah. Like, that is my worst nightmare. Being in the middle of somewhere and like doing all that. Like, I'm just trying to accept now, like, learn about myself, learn that it's fine to only want to socialise for a couple of hours, then come back, find other hobbies. I love walking now. I love getting out in the mornings.
That's our favourite thing to do now, isn't it?
Yeah.
We literally, we was on, as we said, we went to Macclesfield Forest yesterday, and I actually like had a moment of like pure clarity as we were walking. I think we'd probably just had a little bicker. Oh my God, you have to talk about that bicker that we had where you stood in the road. Anyway, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But it was a moment of clarity in that sometimes I can moan at Bobby being like, "Oh, we're not doing enough. Like we don't go out enough on dates and da da da." And like
we go out every week.
I had a moment of clarity where I was like, actually, the best dates we have, because we do like long walks, we do like 15k, 17k walks, so you're out for like a good 5 hours, and they are the best dates because it's just me, you, beautiful countryside, and we just talk, don't we? We don't stop talking. We have a warm up. I always think we have a quiet warm up, and then we just go boom, we're in.
Yeah,
and it's great.
Love a good walk.
Like so good for you, like just Zen health as well. Zen health.
Yes. No, it is. I do love a good walk.
Can I tell them about the story? We won't go into... Anyway, we're having a bicker, and I'd stormed off for 2 minutes, and then Bobby was trying to come back.
Why did you storm off? Why did you storm off?
Because... Why? Because you was annoying.
She thinks I don't want to marry you.
Oh my God, yeah. Yeah, I think you don't want to marry me.
Demanded answers now.
I literally was like, if you don't want to marry me, you should have said it at the start, because I've told you from day one.
I didn't even say that.
So I stormed off. And then he was trying to like come back and like give me a cuddle, and I refused. So we stood on the street with his arm up and said, "You're not walking past me until you give me a cuddle." And he just stood there, and he must have been there for about 3 minutes, and a man walked past whilst he had his arm up.
I think it's more one of them that I think you had to be there.
You probably did, but I thought it was hilarious because this man walked past and he probably thought, what the hell is going on? We'll have to we'll reinvent it and post it.
We won't.
Okay. But it was really funny, and apologies. But anyway, yeah. I think socializing sober is a journey, as all of this is, and you have to, find yourself in it. And kind of, for me anyway, like you go through an evolution stage and you just find out again what you love. What do you really love doing? And test yourself, push your boundaries a little bit. But if what you love doing the most is having a friend round, having a games night and just having a chill, like that's okay. Like this is your life, so you choose your own rules with your sobriety. That's what I would say.
Yeah, and I think another one is I think it's important to work on yourself. So if you know that you struggle in certain situations, but you want to do those things, then I think it's fine to push yourself. But don't push yourself unnecessarily just to fit a mold that you think you have to be in. Yeah. Like, for example, like I was just saying, if you put yourself off going out, but you really want to go to that show and watch that band, then push yourself, because you're going to get something at the end of it, because you know you want to watch that band.
Yeah.
But if you're saying, look, I just don't like being around loads of people and standing in a bar for 5 hours, like I enjoy that socialising anymore, you're never going to get anything from it.
Yeah.
Because it's not what you like, because you might be an introvert and you might just not like that. So stop forcing yourself to do something just because you think you have to.
Yeah.
Like, you've changed your life now. You don't drink anymore. That kind of stuff does not interest you. And that's fine.
Yeah.
Some people will still want to do that even when they're sober, and that's also fine.
Yeah.
But you just got to listen to yourself and try and think like, why am I doing this? Why am I putting myself in this position? If it's because you're getting something out of it, then fair enough, work on that.
Yeah.
It's worth it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be scared of going in social situations if you really want to watch a gig or a festival or whatever. But if you're going to get nothing from it other than just, I want to get out of here, then just get out of there.
Yeah.
Don't go there.
Don't go there.
Don't go there, girlfriend.
Yeah.
So that's my little nugget for this.
That was a great nugget.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
And I think
that's it.
That's a good one. That's a good one for Sunday.
Yeah, that was good. Good waffling.
Yes.
So yeah, let's wrap it up there.
I'm sure there's probably things we've missed or we could talk about more, but I think the good thing about that is we can revisit it, can't we?
Yeah, definitely. And I think the whole society and sobriety is a good one to maybe explore as well. So maybe we'll do that one next.
Yeah. All right then. Well,
if you enjoyed this, please do subscribe. Please write us a review. Then follow us on the socials. We're on Instagram and TikTok. And if you also would like to receive our weekly newsletter, or bi-weekly, depending on if we do the podcast, please go to drywaffle.com and subscribe there.
Right, let's get out of here.
Bye.
Dry Waffle.